I woke up feeling like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Okay, we are back. It is Monday. Now, if you didn't know what I was showing you, this is a felt night light, or you can stick a potted plant in there. But you put this on a shelf with little, LED light, and it glows all different places. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we have some fresh, warm, by now lukewarm water with some, should be some super sudsy, lemony hand soap I used today. I'm mixing it up. You can't tell. It's like my favorite kitchen hand soap. In fact, I think it's called Kitchen Lemon. I won't be buying it anymore because I'm just not buying anything I don't have to right now, and I don't need it. In fact, I make my own soap, so if I need it, I have a chunk this big I can cut up, but I won't need that either because I'm prepared. Anyway, it's Monday. I have the appropriate cotton mouth to go with the day. Hot tea, fresh water, and more things to play with. I will. Today I saw a video of a little kid while she was coloring. Her mom was asking her what she wanted to be when she grew up. And she said, Barack Obama. Now, of course, a little girl can't grow up to be a man. But what she was clear on was when she grew up, this little white girl was going to become black and become a president. Her determination to be a president because a girl can do anything she wants to. I was just floored. She was like just as sincere as I was as a child, standing my ground about what I wanted to do. Like, that kid's going to be president someday, even though she's not going to become black. We can sympathize with her. Someone commented about how they were hoping that they would be black when they got older because they thought their freckles would grow together and then, you know, you could be black. And actually, I had the same kind of hope because my best friend at one point was a black girl named Mary, and I wanted to look more like her because people were clearly weird about color differences as adults, and both of us were aware of that, and we did not like it. So I kind of hoped I would look a little more like her, but of course that never happened. In fact, my freckles didn't do anything except, well, get a few darker, but no, you are what you are when it's come to that, but you can be what you want to be. Because we're going to create the country that we kept trying to create, which is where we can all be the best we can be, and not just the best of what someone tells us we can or should be. I think people have nerve even trying to do that. Okay, this water was a lot hotter than I expected, so this is going to kind of shock the wool. And although I'm not sure what that is, I have a feeling I'm going to find out. Now, all of these are meant to just become ropes. That I'm going to be using to hold purses flaps down over a button. Need a button loop. So it doesn't have to be really big, but it does have to be very strong. You don't want it just breaking apart when you're trying to get it through a button through it. And I just ordered some crescent moon buttons with a white pearl finish. I can't wait to see how those turn out. Okay, you just go rest over there while we work on you. Now this is just the super thin merino, not the super fine. It's the less expensive kind. As I went window shopping for wool last night, I put a few things in a wish list. I remembered to use that. Now, I don't know what that's going to do as far as anybody's marketing is concerned. Like when they have a sale on something in a wish list, I guess maybe they alert you, hey, we noticed that you want this, and now it's even cheaper. Which is a good way to help people part with their money. But I really can't afford to do any more parting of the money at the moment, so I am having to plot out my projects so I don't waste money on getting the wrong wool. Now, I'm getting my last shipment of wool today, and it's mostly not actually wool, it's mostly the more unusual fibers, bamboo, and some silk. Okay. Let's use the other hand for the other one. Yep. Don't get excited, gentle dough, gentle, gentle. Ooh, cool. One of the things I love about wet felting is the variety of textures you can get. How creative you can get, and also the nature of the different fibers you use produce different effects. So it's what a wonderful journey to stumble into. This was one thing I didn't plan for. Something new that I would be so enthusiastic about in art. Now, with all of the supplies I sold back in the 80s, all the exposure I had to people's work, you would think that felting would come up at least once, especially the miniatures, because oh my goodness, miniatures were a big thing. A lot of people were into doll houses, and I was an egg decorator even before it became a business. It became a business because it was something I was good at, and I discovered I could sell my work. But this is a fairly new way of doing felting. There's always been steam involved and chemicals. This is just soap and water and bubble wrap. I was saving every little scrap. I have learned not to do that now. There is such a thing as too many little scraps. I'm never going to get around to using them. And once you start making the colors you need when you need them, you really don't need to save too much, unless it's like really unusual fibers. I definitely save some of that stuff. It's felt so nicely. I wonder if people go by and go, what the hell is she doing? I am making fabric. Out of loose fibers. And all of it is practice. For being able to make some of the sheerest, most ethereal clothes. I mean, for me, that doesn't mean I'm going to be walking around half exposed. No, no, no. Sheer like silk, you know. Now this is a pretty cool piece. I'm going to just look at this as a pre-felt piece to add to another piece using these colors. Gonna make a little mountain range. So easy to felt, my goodness. It's like magic. I'm in such a good mood. The truth is, I am on most days. Even when I hear all kinds of crazy stuff going on, I do drop down energetically for a little bit, but then I pull myself back out of it because it's the vibration that is answered in kind. Like attracts like. So that's a problem if you're chronically depressed and you can't, you know, see the light of day. That is harder, but not impossible. It just takes dedication to feeling better. I'm not talking about depression. That's the result of brains chemically gone awry. But anything in our chemistry can be changed. And I think the best happens when we are changing from inside without drugs. I'm not anti-drug. I know a lot of people that are definitely able to survive the challenges that they have to face with the help of some form of medicine. I use medicine, so I'm definitely not against it. Especially on 420, my goodness. Day about freedom of choice. What kind of medicine you want. Now, I am going to put them aside since I'm not going to be attaching them today. They will be further felted by actually going through my laundry in a net bag where they will be agitated, which is the big secret, and even possibly thrown into the dryer. So when these shrink up, it'll be nice and tight. I know I laid the wool out the way I wanted it for strength. So a chore for later. This, we must continue to felt my hand very carefully if I want it just to keep its shape. And this is the first time, actually, I'm attempting to put these ridges into the form right from the start. So we'll see how it works. It may all say sayonara when I pick it up. I'll hope for the best, and I'll learn what I can. Now, I've watched people do all kinds of shaping, so I know, this is basically how it works. I might be trying something extreme, I'm not sure though. Okay, let that dry a little. And now, the big project, which I guess I need to get this small project out of the way. What can we retire you to? Lack of space. Okay, we are going to move them. I used to be able to move the paintings across the room and put them on the other table, but that other table is now getting crowded. Need to invent another spot. I found one. My seed sprouting trays. I have a stack of them. Okay, we got quite wet there, didn't we? Let's fix that. You, up here to dry. Thank you. You, over here, to absorb. Here it is. The project I separated and left for today. This is the template we're going to use. It's going to be a vessel that will also be a night light. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, so we're going to be doing the front and back, so I had to separate the wool into 2 equal piles so that I don't screw up, because I can't get this fast enough to complete the project if I'm wrong. Maybe I should just go all black on the inside. That would reduce the light coming through, though. I want periwinkle to be the dominant color. All right. Let's put you safely out of sun's way. And begin. Now, you might want to put some music on. I know I would like that. Yep, this is definitely periwinkle. It was my favorite color in the Crayola crayon box of colors. Don't you mess up. We cannot afford that. And all of that, yes. Greetings and salutations of the day. How art thou? That was a beautiful sunrise, Yuka. Thanks for sharing it. Mine was overcast, but then it got bright, and then it got overcast again. We got some rain. If it gets too bright, I'll have to break and put up curtains with hammers and nail. Hammer and nails. One hammer will do. That's just so cool. We make fabric out of all this loose stuff. That's just amazing. Okay, so that's going to be the top. And we're going to need a little overlap to go over to the other side, but not too much because then it bulks up. We don't want that. And the shorter fibers, knit the fastest. I didn't want to talk about it, but it's been hurting my brain. What's hurting your brain? Aw. Oh, I hate when that happens. But you got to witness it, right? That was your moment. You got it in your head. You just didn't get it to share with the world. But it was yours. Yeah, that sucks having to do that. Hey, there is a way to get away from all of the privacy invasion and spam shit. That's by trading in the smartphones to go back to a $200 flip phone. Runs on a different system. Can't be used by spies using our networks. Eliminates AI completely from your phone. It's like, 200 bucks, right? Well, my next phone is going to be exactly that. I am so sick. I mean, when you look at all these AI videos, they're making them, of course, by AI to make money for the people developing AI. Look at when you have something that's got hundreds of thousands of views, and then you go and you see when the channel was started this year. Anybody on YouTube knows it takes way longer to build up that kind of viewership unless you're paying for it. So I learned today how people are stealing other people's work by taking their transcripts and giving them to an AI to reorder to make them more appealing so they get the clicks. This is being turned into a site by AI for AI, and the humans are getting pushed to the back of the room. Yeah, I know, they're pushing it all over the place. If you don't take up AI, you're behind the times. It's easy. We'll show you how. Yeah, screw you. You're just digitizing us. We're no longer humans. We're just data points. I'd rather stay human. I love that AI is helping scientists create better medicine, eliminate the need to use living animals to experiment on. We don't need those animal farms anymore where they're just bred to be killed. I like that, but people are still using it because they don't want to, they don't want to lose their money. Hey, I'm raising all these rabbits for killing, okay? You can't tell me you don't need rabbits anymore. That the computers have taken their place. Yes, we can tell you that. It is true. Computers have taken their place, and we don't need you to raise bunnies to kill them. The government's only investing a lot because we made all those contracts with the Elon Musks of the world and gave them billions of our tax dollars. While our president is draining our treasury on bogus bullshit. That's why I'm saying we better learn to be self-sufficient in a fucking hurry. You gotta know how to survive on less. Because they're just waiting there to pull the trigger. Now it's going to be illegal for you to carry a gun. They don't want you to be able to protect yourself. Since when did the Second Amendment just get trampled on? All those people voted for Trump thinking they were saving the Second Amendment. Republicans who have been doing us wrong are terrified that we own weapons. And they should be nervous, in all honesty. They have really gone out of their way to destroy the system. I mean, well, not for them. The system has been rigged for them. So, yeah, now that people are figuring it out and looking for ways to fight back, they're in trouble. And it's exactly what they deserve. It's too bad. There really are like Agent Smiths all over the place. That we have renegade agents, AI agents, we have to be concerned about now too. It's like they created all these monsters for us to have to deal with because, well, eventually them too, they're not as protected as they'd like to believe from their own inventions. Oh, this has a lot more grass than usual. Well, it is 4:20. Well, we fight back. There's only one way to fight oligarchy, and that's by depriving them of the thing they want most, money and data. A scary thing happened this morning, as a matter of fact. I got a notice on my phone from Xfinity saying, identifying my Kindle by all of its information, identifying information, make, model, all this stuff. It said, congratulations, we checked it out and it works beautifully with our system for, I don't know, 480, whatever the 4D, but a high-speed internet, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, HD, that's it. I'm like, until this morning, it was just a device using my Wi-Fi. I have 3 devices that use the Wi-Fi, and now it's identifying them intimately. It's like, what did you change that you're able to now know it's not just a pad, that it's this model, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't like that. So the only thing you can do is not buy from them, not support them, because there is no other way. I'm not going to suggest violence. I know people are setting warehouses on fire. Frankly, everyone they've done that to, I think they've deserved it by not paying living wages, by abusing their employees. So I have 0 sympathy for them. Even if they want to use it to say, oh, well, this is what's driving the prices up, don't even try that one. We're too savvy now. They keep thinking that they can keep lying to us, like we don't figure these things out. We don't understand math just because they don't. The guy in charge of FEMA talks to Satan. What? He talks to Satan, the Dark Lord, to get information, and he's the guy that teleports to Waffle Houses for no good reason. Like that's that insanity is in charge of our emergency responses as a country? Holy fuck. I can see other countries laughing at us, but I don't think they're really laughing. It's more of a horror. You don't know who's in charge of FEMA? The whack job that Trump appointed? He talks with Satan, he claims, and he gets teleported 50 miles away to a different Waffle House than the one he went to. And he also teleported to where his dead girlfriend's ghost helped him avoid a car accident or lifted a truck up or something to, like, and he's in charge of FEMA. Yeah, we have Yes, that's what I've been saying since the start. Him and Putin. Israel just wants his weapons. But Putin had vowed to destroy the United States from within. He spent 40 years waiting to get Trump into a prime spot where that could be made to happen. Now our treasury is being drained every day. Freaking Trump sued our own government for $10 billion. Sued the IRS. Of course, he is the IRS right now because he controls all of those people. So he's going to give it to himself. That's our money. And in the meantime, they're asking for more military that will put us $1.5 trillion more in debt. So when people say that they are Republicans for the sake of money, to save the country money, you can look them right in the eye and say they're full of shit. They have gotten us into the greatest amount of trouble. You can look over the entire history of them being in charge of this country, and every time Republicans are in charge, we have financial crashes. And it's part of our history, but people forget history. And also a lot of people involved right now are too young. They weren't even born when some of this stuff happened, where we understood what's really going on. So we got some crazy people in charge. I mean, sincerely, totally, certifiably, they should be institutionalized insane people in charge. Oh, and Hegseth delivered an address. Said he was quoting out of the Bible, and he was quoting a movie. He took someone, lifted their dialogue, and pretended it was from the Bible, and sat there and talked to all these service people. It's like, no. Exactly. Because he's being protected by the Epstein Class people who don't want him to ever leave power if they can help it, because all of their crimes will be exposed. Just like Elon Musk said, if Hillary gets in, he's going to jail. If not Hillary, well, yeah, he would have gone to jail back then. But if Kamala Harris got in, and he said it in an interview, I think with Joe Rogan, that if she wins, I'm going to jail. Okay, so he already knew. And that's when he went into with Doge to destroy everything he could, basically like going in and garbling the computers to fuck up things as fast and as heavily as he could. That's what Elon Musk did to our country. So anybody that thinks he's our friend, well, he's only a friend to the Epstein class. Bottom line. People who we already know are complete scum. And they have to protect Trump to protect their own asses. The reason this is happening is for all the people who did not get off their goddamn asses and look up politics before they voted, or they just skipped voting altogether. A third of the country did not vote. A third of the country did not vote. That's how we end up with morons in charge. Because the morons who didn't vote. Oh, I don't do politics. Yeah, well, you know, that's one of the things that keep you alive in the country going. So you better start doing politics. Because it's going to affect you and your family. If you ever have children, it'll do that. Affect the children. And you know the answer as well as I do, Maui. If Trump was black, he would have been, it wouldn't have been a near miss. They would have got him the first attempt if he was black. But no, he's a rich white man who believes he belongs in power. And he always has believed that, which is one of the reasons he has it. Because he has got no conflict in his inner beliefs. And some people say, how did he get in? He is the one person with such an egomaniac, such a bloodthirsty asshole, but he's always believed from the very get-go that he deserved it. He deserves all the good stuff. He deserves to be in charge. He deserves to have everybody else's money. He deserves to be able to just say, go ahead and kill that person. He thinks he deserves it. And when a person is that convinced of anything, it's what happens, because it's the law of attraction. He has no conflict about what he thinks he should have, whereas everybody else has a conscience and would doubt some of their choices as being smart or sane. That's it. Nail on the head, sweetie. Nail on the head. That's exactly why they're now curtailing guns. They're going to curtail everything they can. They're terrified. They know they're going to jail. They know they are going to jail. This administration is not going to be here forever. They think they're like talking like Trump's going to live long enough for another term. I don't even think he's going to make it to the end of the year for this election. Now, that would be a perfect timing for him to leave. That way we can make it a bigger election than what was originally planned. All right. We've got some left. Good sign. Okay, I did make sure I had excess pulled out. Oh, wrong one. This one, it's time for the water and soap. Now, I would have done this in the black silk, I'm expecting, but it's not here yet, and I want to do this. Center out. The government, as it is too stupid to be believable, and they are underestimating 300 million people who aren't on their side. Hello, my darling grandson. Greetings back on you, on your head, blessings. I am absolutely fabulous, darling. How are you? I have fresh tea. I'm finished yesterday's project. I made a night light. I'll show you when my hands are dry. But I didn't like the way it came out for the person I'm making it for. So we're doing it again a little differently. And how go you? Did you finish that email? Or did you send one off saying, I really would like to make a longer letter, but I don't want to rush it, so give me more time. Because sometimes I have done that. But you know what? I used to do that with people I cared about the most. And it's like, no, you know what? They deserve to have the longer letter, and the little blurby notes go to the people I don't really have that deep of an affection for. On my first out of 8 cups of coffee for today. Are you trying to kill yourself or your kidneys? Which one? 8 cups of coffee? You know that's not healthy. Why would you do that? If you're relying on coffee to keep you going, you don't know where your energy is coming from. You're not eating right. Yep, there I go. See? What did I just tell you? You sent him a quick email to let him know that you are working on a letter. Am I good or what? Doc, you did a wise thing with having an apple with the cup of coffee yesterday or the day before. But that much coffee is not healthy for anybody. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you hurt yourself on a celebration day. I got so drunk that I walked right into a wall. Ha ha ha. Well, I was celebrating. Come on. Come on. Who can afford that much coffee anyway? With the price of coffee. Seriously. Are you celebrating something besides 420? Yeah, the wall tricked me. So it doesn't engage directly with what's said. Okay, so is that what I'm business and then the things have been writing in the past weeks? Okay, I don't want to spend 2 more weeks trying to connect the dots. Yeah, that's what happens when you take too long to write a damn letter. It becomes too many subjects, and then you end up not writing because you're delaying until you can write a novel. Just be sociable, write shorter letters, and more frequently. Get them off. If you're thinking of them, stop and... Hey, how you doing? Today is just an easygoing day. I went out and did this today. I know it's not the most intellectual of things to do, but life isn't all about being intellectual. Life is about being real. Well, you'd like to make everything about that, but life philosophy is developed by living life and coming to your own conclusions instead of just what you've been reading about and thinking about. It's a little broader when you're actually out there. Now, you are living right now. I mean, you are experiencing, obviously. I'm not trying to discount that. But you don't have to impress him. He already likes you. Okay, time to fold and move on. That's gonna be the top. And if I do this, we're gonna get some cool textures around the top. And you too, over you go. So what else have you been doing? What's the most fun thing you've been doing this week? Well, it's just Monday, but you know what I mean. Okay, make sure this goes in that direction. Your cat needs daddy. Daddy, play. That's why I always had 2. Except when one died and I ended up with 1 until I got 2 again. They need companionship. They're very social. People think that they're solitary just because, well, people buy them or pick them up at ones, but they are social animals. They need connection, cuddling, loving, etc., etc. They're really very much like dogs, and people often don't realize that. Okay, let's continue the process on this side. Yeah, there you go. He likes that, doesn't he? Chasing fish and birds and all that. Did you put some TV on for him? There was this weird. Did you remember the toilet games? I forget who sent them to me. It was like, are you shitting me? No pun intended. They were weird little games that you play while you're on the toilet, literally. And they were gross, but not disgusting. They were just weird. Like, one was cockroaches coming out, and you had to, I forget how you did it, but you had to kill the cockroaches, and they got faster and faster each round, I guess. I did not play it for long enough to discover the nuances. Another one was like you had to drop something in the bowl. You can imagine what. Timed so that somebody else coming into the bathroom would not hear it. Because you wanted to disguise your splashdowns. Like, so people sit in the toilet and play this. Yes, you did. Did you? 100 years of books. Oh my God. Well, that's fine, honey, as long as you don't expect to bring them all back to university. You're going to have to build your library at home for your future living conditions that are not school. You can't keep going back and forth with that library. That's ridiculous. I understand. When half.com, that's what was around before Amazon bought them out. Half.com was half price books and videotapes. Back then it was VHS, no options. And I just went nuts. I mean, I was out on the farm, you know, we didn't have TV. So I got some great deals on books and, of course, movies. So I ended up with an amazing collection of movies. It was half.com. Oh, come on. It made me. Oh, God, yeah. Hey, Gary. Good morning. Good afternoon, rather. Yeah, that will destroy your books faster than anything. Mildew, and then that's garbage. You cannot have them around your breathing once they have mildew. If you have mildewed books you can't part with, I do have a couple. They're in plastic Ziploc bags so that mildew cannot affect my other books. It does. It's a living thing and it travels. Yes, mildew's alive. It doesn't take anything. It takes nothing to start. Really, seriously. The slightest amount of moisture gets into paper. It becomes laden with whatever bacteria and molds, spores the rain brought down. And worse, if it went through the house, like through a roof, it picks up even more. And that would be the end of your library if you didn't make sure everything was cleaned off, wiped down. Your mom was right about it. And if she insisted and followed up on it, she really was protecting your library. So I will thank her in my head for you. Isn't any moisture. I'm scaring you? Good. You'll watch out for your books in the future. I have lost multiple libraries because of water damage. I had some stored in a roof in an attic, and it leaked. But looking back, it saved me a fortune in shipping from coast to coast because I had to leave stuff in storage when I moved to California from Connecticut. That's 3,000 miles away. And I drove with everything I could carry, including my cat. Yeah, Leo and Moisha were buds, but Leo was a traveler. Leo liked traveling. He liked the car. He was an old pro who would get to hotel, walk up the hall to the open door. I know where I'm at. I know the routine. Don't sweat it. But Moisha, terrified female. She was the one that would cry in the car. It's like, oh, girl, shut up. We ain't stopping. We got a long way to go. 6 days long. You ever travel a long distance in a car? Maui, you've been all over the place. Well, it's feeling even. Many years ago, thanks to my first husband, I met a man and his wife who was into writing the way I was, enthusiastic about creating his own world. And he had a book that he treasured. Well, apparently he knew, we didn't know, but he was dying. And he gave me that book so that I could be similarly inspired to write about a new world. Science fiction worlds. but it applies, the rules apply to most worlds. So I read the book and I was fascinated. It was such a useful book. And that is something I held on to. But it was already an old book by the time he gave it to me, and paperback books, you know, mildew really easily. So I put it in a plastic bag knowing about mildew. You should see it under a microscope. So it's been in this bag for, well, when did they invent Ziploc bags? Because it's been over 20 years. Imaginary Worlds by science fiction writer Lynn Carter. It is really, if you ever want to write fantasy, it's a standard. But look at this, $1.25 for this. Valentine Books, and I'd have to open it to get you the date. But this is one of my most cherished keepsakes. And the sad thing is, I can't even tell you the man's name, but I remember his passion for his world, because I had the same passion for Nomaris, and that's what we were so excited about. Oop. No, that's not big enough. Now, as Ryan Hall always says on his weather station, don't be scared, be prepared. There's a reason collectors of comic books keep them in glassine envelopes and handle them with gloved hands, because that paper is easily infected. No, you're not doing it for me. Hey, don't get saucy. Okay. Now, we can get some black in here. But first, let's see, where are those black ones? Right there, we got a nice big one. We don't want that to be too big. just enough to be noticed. There. Now I've got two dresses, which I haven't tried on yet. And I have a feeling they're both a little too long. It's become more of a problem as I've gotten older and don't wear high heels anymore. But I don't have anything purse-wise to go with them. One of them apparently is more of an autumn dress, from like autumn flowers, but I don't have anything in my wardrobe those colors except for one chiffon blouse. So I'm going to make myself something. I'm trying to think of the design I want to do, something that'll go with the dress theme-wise. It's very feminine. It's got a lot of autumny colors, I guess, and flowers. Peaches, beige. So that is going to be fun to work through. Hey, stay there. Now the cool thing about this is when the light is on inside, you can see all the webby fibers. That looks pretty cool. Oh, you're a little heavy. Let's try you. Okay. I'm going to have to add just a little bit of black there. I don't want it to totally disappear. Okay, time to hit it with water. And see where we're at. What I need to add. I like to have more suds than heavy duty water. Although it makes less of a mess in the end if I do it this way. It's just louder. You want to get all the air out that is preventing the wool from meeting the resist. Sandwich in between the two layers. Did one of you guys send me a message on Messenger? Oh, okay. I will have to look at that. This doesn't really have to get flipped, but that looks cool. Okay, wait. Let's fix this. You know, it's really funny that every one of my friends, literally every one of them, their favorite color is purple or a shade of purple. You say, what colors do you like? Oh, I love blues, purples. It's always that. I remember taking a humanities course, and the professor had us choose to answer this little quiz. We had a choice of red pens and blue pens. A lot of people in high school probably tried this. And you were supposed to choose which color you wanted to do your doodle in or whatever. And I thought, well, my first instinct is to use blue because, I don't know, I like blue, but the red just didn't talk to me. But I chose red deliberately because I was worried about what choosing blue would say about me. And it turned out my intuition was correct. The people who chose blue tended toward depression more than people who chose red. Red turned out not to be a color of violence, but a color of happiness. I'm as surprised as you. That's a little heavy. Let me find some thinner. Oh, here we go. I need my glasses. Can't tell which end is up. Let me take a look at the picture of Cyrus. You'll know I love cats, you know. Ah, that's great. So it looks like a mouse made out of wooden buttons. That's great. Keep the cat busy. He'll go as long as 20 minutes with it? That's amazing. Just go to sleep after? That's adorable. Every cat needs an iPad. Every indoor cat. Now, here's how the nightlight came out. I put a light inside of it. It looks bitchin'. So, oh, that's nice and thin. Ooh, look at this little one. Oh, I'm so glad I saved these. What do you think? Like leaves floating on the water. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know you could do that. I mean, I know saving things to draft. He's getting sleepy now. That's so sweet. Oh, it looks like storm clouds are coming up. Oh, wow. Okay, I gotta look. I love storms, you know. We have a freeze warning tonight. It was 80 degrees 2 days ago. Now we have a freeze warning. Holy cow. Okay, so it's supposed to rain from 2 to 4 p.m. Hello. So those clouds really are gathering. It's not a false alarm. Let me look at WeatherWise. This is a great free app, by the way, WeatherWise, because I think it covers the globe. I might be wrong, but it'll show you all of the precipitation. I mean, you can zoom in, zoom out. When I want to check on how my son is doing out there in Louisiana, not Louisiana, St. Louis. It's like, where are you, honey? Gotta make sure you're okay. And Sister Annie, she is out there in Iowa, where they have been getting like outbreaks of tornadoes. Stay safe, girl, stay safe. But I mean, I've got the United States up, so I just love looking all over the whole country and seeing which way the wind is blowing. There's Connecticut. There's clouds all over the damn place. It's gonna rain. Just like they said. I'm gonna need parental restrictions on the browser pretty soon. How do I just not buy? Well, you have to remember, you don't need them all at once, and no matter how long you live, you will never read them all. You won't. I have a book up here I still haven't read. I bought it years ago. It's even by my favorite author. It's still sitting there. Don't ask. I have tried reading it actually a few times and I just keep stopping. Just very unlike me, but there you have it. It is hard not to. Don't forget, my dad was a book publisher. I developed a hunger for books very young. And I was really, really fortunate that he was an educational book publisher. And so I had 3 sets of encyclopedias in my home at all times. You have to set a budget, just like I have to set a budget with my passion right now, which is wool. I mean, seriously, I'm into wool to create with, because to me now this is way more fun painting with wool than it was painting with acrylic. No, I'm not giving it all up. I have a fortune invested in it. I will use my stuff, but right now it's all about this. So you have to give yourself room to grow. Everything that fascinates you right now, your interest in those things is going to wane, and some will grow. You got to leave room for that, and don't try to buy up everything on one subject that you get your hands on, or cover every subject. It's not all going to be relevant to you. So ask your higher self when you go to look at a book, is this something I need right now? Is this my last opportunity to have this book or get this information? Don't ask a human. They can't answer. Ask yourself. And when you pause and take that question seriously, you'll feel the impulse. It's like, nope, I don't have to have this right now. It might be 10 years before I need this book or want this book, really. So I appreciate you are collecting, especially because I believe we need to protect our knowledge base off the internet, because people are sabotaging the internet. You know, eventually, it doesn't matter who you're telling or not telling, it's your money, and you're going to have to be responsible for it. And you're going to be coming into a time when you're going to have to cover what it costs to live. Rent, utilities, all the food, you know, furniture, rent. It's never set in stone. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at how delicate that is. Not lacy enough. I need it to be very, very, no, that's too thick. Very thin. Maybe we should just leave 2 on that side. We have 3 on the other. I'm gonna have to make some more of these. They came out overall quite nice. Nice and lacy, lightweight. They just melt right into the work, which is the idea. Oh, you too. Come here. Oh, we got another one over here. They're so light. It's easy to get sucked into it, but you gotta watch it. It's just like me buying wool. My first purchases of my wool were all 1 ounce, except for some turquoise, which I know is going to need more of. And it turns out that for wet felting, 1 ounce is just a drop in the bucket, and I need more. I have to start ordering in 2 ounces so I can work larger projects. Like this periwinkle, I bought 1 ounce of this periwinkle, and it is just such a gorgeous lavender. I have to have more. This is the last of it now, which means this becomes like my purple. It becomes an accent color because I don't have enough to lay down as a base layer. Now, because this is felt that I made the wool I made these out of, and I made them as light as possible, they're going to felt right in. I don't have to do anything special to make them stick like when I use a synthetic. The synthetics, you have to lay wool over it to make it stay, and not so with this. is when we let the little magic fingers of the bubbles do some of the work. Now I made this more defined bottom, a flat bottom. I hope that is going to help this stand up more the way I like it. And we got this shape by stuffing it with towels while it was wet. And we got some real cool textures here. I don't know if you can see how it gathered right here on the edge. And you end up with these little cool textures. It's all different. And the thin parts where the light comes through when you put a LED light in. They're not an LED, what are you, those little battery powered LEDs, I guess, yeah. A fake candle, not a real one. That would just be silly. It's quite flammable. Now, Charlie, I have a fun budget because we need fun budgets. You have to decide what you want to reward yourself with in your fun budget. In your case, it's books. But there might be other things like a trip to the cafe, coffee out as a treat, certainly not economical, but for social, it's important. We have to get out now and then. But if it's a habit, then really you're blindly wasting your money, not spending it consciously. You're just giving in to the moment's rush, and when we do that, we become the losers of the world. So I do treat myself. When I was playing SimCity more seriously, because now I don't give a shit that because of who owns it. I've already declared I'm not spending another dime on SimCity ever again, unless the game changes hands to those of someone I respect. And then I'll spend again. But I went over to Township, and I do spend there, but there I realized, all these games are rigged to get you to spend money. That's it. They need their money. You're paying for the game over and over and over. You're paying for the license to use images, because they're all images, whether they're animated or not. It's just a fucking digital image, and we're paying for it, like skins on what to wear. I don't do that in Township, but you get a pass, you know, you get all these little benefits of the pass, and you get some cash to play with, you know, your town cash. And I give myself a budget with that too. My budget for games is $20 a month. And I can do whatever I want with that $20. But if I go out to eat, well, nowadays you can't even get a little meal and leave with under $30 as your bill before tip. So if I go out and eat more than once a month, I can't afford 20 bucks on a freaking video game. And now that I am into this, I am much more interested in this than video games. I'd rather spend the money on wool and end up with a product I can be proud of. I made for myself or for somebody else. And, you know, I know people that I give these things to, they're going to cherish them. And that means something. Well, they're books for life. Again, all that stuff, Charlie, is going to depend on where you end up. What if an opportunity came for you to go to a different country to study something you don't even know you want to study yet? You don't know what your whole life is. You're so young. And whatever you accumulate now is something you're going to be responsible for. Otherwise, you're dumping that responsibility on somebody else. Like, I'm going to Europe for a year to school, and I need you to babysit my books. Even if you move and sell the house, then you got to move all my books for me, etc., etc. We just can't predict exactly how our life is going to go. So I have gone through many libraries in my lifetime because I couldn't carry them all around. I had mildew, I had floods. You know, you don't predict a flood in your own living room, but we had one. You just don't know the shit that happens in advance. So, not that you're attracting shit, it's just inevitable because we can't stay on a high vibe constantly. We're going to allow less pleasant things to come up now and then. Like, I spent all that money investing in classic movies. I had 12 cases of movies. I had musicals. I had stuff from Mae West up. Okay, I mean, old movies. And then the format changed. Luckily, that does not happen with books. But the problem with the books is their weight and their space that they take up. So I appreciate what you're doing. Just, I want you to ask yourself, can I get this in the future? If the answer is an absolute no, and you have the opportunity to invest in it, see it as an investment. Right now, you know, you got, what are you going to need for school? You need some money for school to save for school books? Do you even know what you're going to be doing yet? You have time to think about it. Good. There you go. There you go. You just took control of your situation. And that's how you do it. You make a decision. That's not that far away. In the meantime, you can save up, however possible, any money you get for the future books. Well, that's true. I wouldn't buy any more books a few times. No, I don't remember you ever saying you wouldn't buy any more books for real. Like, I'm not going to spend any more right this minute, but the next time I get into an antique store and they have something appetizing, I'm going for it. I think that's wonderful that you have such a love and appreciation for books, the knowledge, and I would never want to discourage that. I just don't want you to find yourself with a burden that you have to drag with you because it's just too awesome to let go of. Did you ever see, well, I hope so, just because you have more books coming, all right? That should fill your appetite for a little while. I had to say no more fantasy books until I finish reading what I've got. I used to belong to the science fiction book club that sent automatic shipments, which is how I came across some of my favorite sci-fi, so I don't regret it. But I put together a library awfully fast, and in a one-bedroom apartment, you know, where do you put everything? Do you need room for your bed and your refrigerator? Even though I spent years sitting in bed, eating and painting in bed. No, I didn't paint in bed. That was the ex. Couldn't get him out of the damn bed. Get up, walk the dogs. But if he had the day off, you know, later he just sat in bed and did everything. Like, except when we went out kayaking. And I was back to bed, sitting in bed. It's like, ugh, doesn't your back kill you? Yes, it does. Well, maybe it's because you're sitting on your ass in bed. It's not exactly a supportive environment. What did I say? Is not important. Let's not go backward. You'll know when to say no. And if you don't, you'll be out of money when you need it for other things, and that'll be your lesson. There are times, like the poet said, you need to spend that last dollar on hyacinths as food for the soul. It does count. $40. That's great. And what's the reason for that amazing price break? Are they used? Well, I'm sure you gave it at least a little bit of thought before you chose one of that list. Look, that's a lot of material to play with, and I'm happy for you. You're going to love it. I look forward to my book deliveries every month. I would take my books home with a box, and I'd sit there. I'd make a pile, and I'd sit there in my dad's living room chair, and I'd go through the pile. And when I finished them all before the end of the month, and I could get another delivery, I started over. So I read them twice. Shadow Castle, I read 3 times. Ah. Well, that's going to be an interesting addition to that. All right. That's all right. We want lots of different textures, and this is going to look rad with a light in it. Okay, so this is the top. I'm holding it the way it's going to be. The back. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. I've got my Tai Chi book. Looks like it was printed on somebody's home printer and then put together in a spiral binder. Yeah, it is. I've got some of those too. My Encyclopedia of Herbology is a beautiful volume. Books have a very low markup, unfortunately. There's a lot of loss in printing books. And even when I was buying them for the store, the best discount we could get was 40% off the list price. And that still meant that most of my books were like the professionals were about $60 on average. And back in the 80s, $60 for one book. It's a lot of damn money. Good. Now, I want to point out something to you. The way libraries get rid of mildew is they tent the building and fill it full of ozone gas. Ozone kills mildew, but it also kills humans, which is why it's tented and nobody can be in the building. It will sear your lungs, which is actually why we had to stop using those air purifiers that have the electrostatic collectors of dust, because they are putting out ozone when they're using electricity to catch, attract all the dust and stuff. So it's easy to clean, and I loved having one. But one night, one of the dogs closed the bedroom door by accident and trapped us all in there, and I woke up on fire. My chest was burning from inhaling. I could smell it. You could smell the ozone. It's like, oh my God, this could have killed us. It took me days to recuperate from that. But the reason I brought that up is you can't do ozone decontamination of mildew products at home without hurting yourself. But you might talk to a library, because libraries have to protect all their books from mildew, and they may have some information aside from keep everything dry, super dry. Or say there's a right humidity level to preserve books, and the glue used in the spines and all that. So I would consult a library, or even a museum kind of a library. Oh, I invested heavily in used books and tapes because it was a great deal. The books aren't good for only one reading. If they were, then why would we bother with encyclopedias at all? But I have to say, I got so excited when they put the Britannica on disc. No, I didn't buy it. It was $150 for the entire Britannica. And then I guess you can look everything up online, and I just stopped worrying about not having room for an encyclopedia, even discs. Charlie, how far are you living from entertainment? Adult entertainment, not perverse, but just generally, like, you know, where there's concerts or cafes with entertainers or anything interesting? Good. Well, I don't want you to be worried. No, worry's a waste of energy. You have to be aware so that you know what to do when you spot something. That's it. And be, you know, prevention is the best rule. You don't know what they're doing out there? How far are you from anything? Are you like set back like a suburbia? Need to take a bus into town to see have a coffee? Or is that something walkable? Oh, not in your city? For any particular reason not in your city? Or it's just there's not a lot your city is offering in that vein? I loved the theater. I really, really did. I just stopped being able to afford it. Broadway shows are, anytime, if you can get to a theater for a big production, you got to do it. You got to experience it. It's just an entirely different thing, like going to a symphonic concert versus a folk singer in the corner store, which I have been, but going to a whole symphonic production, going to see a ballet or an opera or a Broadway musical, it's like, oh my God, it's, especially if you've got good imagination and you can suspend disbelief. Every Broadway show I watched in person left an indelible memory, an indelible series of memories. $20,000. Yeah. Maybe it's just not getting your interest right now. Again, everything's priorities. You have to decide what it is you really want to experience and then attract it. Think about how wonderful it would be for a specific kind of an experience, and then see what happens. Stuff sells out quick, yes, I know. well, maybe not so much plan. Invite opportunities in. I'm lazy when it comes to that right now. We have a local small theater, usually hosting, well, musical acts, stuff like that. And it's one bus ride away. But the problem is, it's not even the money, because I know if I wanted to go to something and I have a month to save it up, it's not usually that bad, like $25, and I have an entertainment. But the buses don't run at that time of night when they're having these productions. I could get into town, but I wouldn't have a way to get home. So I don't take the chance because I don't plan on picking somebody up at a play to drive me home. And honestly, I do not know anybody here. Well, actually, I know two people that would like things. They go to the senior center and they sign up for trips. And the bus driver, you know, does all the driving. And so that way, like, they're going to go see The Lion King. And I know they're going to have an absolutely amazing time. And I thought about it because my best bud, Mindy, the one I'm making something else for, and she went and saw it 3 times, I think, because it was that good. And she's from New York, and she's been to Broadway, and she knows what I'm talking about. Okay, now it's on the other side, the flat side. Oh, I'll do it this way. It is an amazing thing. It stays with you forever. And when I was a kid, my dad brought me to the Woodstock Opera House, upstate New York. So it was a small theater, but oh, what a large performance. I saw La Boheme and Die Fledermaus, and they were just wonderful. And even though I couldn't understand the language, I just wanted to go and have it again. Do you feel that you have unexpressed grief? Are you suppressing emotion? Just curious, I'm not suggesting that that's really what's going on, but are you? Routines work better if you associate a habit with something you already like. Like, I can have that cup of coffee out only if I do my exercise. And that's my reward for doing the exercise. You don't seem to be mentally lazy. That's why I sent you a 7-minute workout. You can get it done in 7 minutes and know you did something, and then go on with your day. Lazy, lack of motivation. Lack of motivation. When you were just sitting around, put that recording on I sent you. It's only an hour. It goes in the background. It sounds like rain, and it's helping you. It sounds to me like you have not adjusted to the sorrow, which is normal, honey. You're not Superman. You're a human being. You lost your grandpa, and it was unexpected. Oh, you'll be saying that the rest of your life. Where did this month go? Where did this year go? Oh my God, where did my 20s go? goes really fast. The older you get, the faster it goes. I can't believe I'm 72 this year. What do you have to do? You ordered a bunch of books. You've been doing practical things. Just stop demanding so much and take more walks with the dog. That's better for you than sitting around going, I'm going to beat myself up because I didn't do the exercise and I don't feel like it, but I'm going to feel bad about it anyway because I didn't really want to do it and I didn't do it, and that's really what I wanted to do, not do it. But now I'm going to torture myself because I didn't do it, even though I really didn't want to do it. Just don't do it. No one's keeping score except you. And who's it for? I am not fond of working out. Not really. I like doing things and staying busy that way. So like if I go to Walmart, which is the biggest store around, and I have to get something, well, I never go alone. But I do extra walking just to get the steps in because I'm there. And I can look at different things. Not going on spending binges, but I'm looking and walking. And so, yeah, I get the exercise in, but it's got to be more interesting. It's kind of like practicing scales, playing piano. It's like da 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 da. It's like it's boring doing the same little stupid exercises, which is why I started writing music to make up those exercises. Like, you want me to do this? Fine, but I'm going to make a song doing it because that's boring, just going nah, 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 nah. It's like, no. Can't keep me interested. Oh dear. That sounds bad. It sounds like depression. I'm sorry to hear it, honey. Yeah, I can see why you'd feel lazy. It's hard to be around disrupted emotional environments, especially when you have nothing to do with it. It's just something that you have to absorb because it's there. Did Dad leave the building? Gee. I mean, he works outside of the house, doesn't he? Or is he doing the computer stuff inside? It's bad for people to spend too much time together once the kids are grown. They just get more and more different, and they force themselves to stay together, and they just build up anger, resentment, and frustration. It's like, we gotta let people out of those lifetime commitments because a lot of them don't last a lifetime. Not really. Yeah. Oh yeah, we get to know the way they handle or don't handle their issues. Motivation to get out on your own. Relationships go through all kinds of stages. But if the foundation isn't that commitment to each other, they just fall apart. because no matter who you are, you're going to hate your mate at some point. You're going to hate him. They're going to have moments when you don't like anything about them, or, I mean, you're just going to go through these different emotional things with your mate. And the longer you're together, the more that's going to happen. But you have to know how to come back from that so you don't destroy the marriage. Oh, we already know you can. We know you can do it. And it's just, I think that there's a lot of emotional stuff going on, and you're not really perhaps recognizing how deeply it affects you. You need some decompression time. You've got big decisions coming up. I know you can do it. Charlie, you can do anything you put your head to, if that's really what you want. I have absolute faith in the ability for you to do that. It's just a question of you deciding what it is you want. And you have to also allow that to change now and then. Okay, it is time to get out the resist. I hate this part. Okay. Uh-oh. You're not letting go. That's what I mean. Hey, don't do anything weird. I'm talking to this. I have some attempt to separate layers, and that's what we don't want. Ta-da! It's like a magic trick without the magic. That's where it curled up the bottom. Okay. Now we've got to heal the edges. Okay, my dear. Welcome back, Gary. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. I'll be back tomorrow. You can count on me. I'll be here before 3. And let me add to that. All right, darling. Until mañana. À demain. Tomorrow. So now we have to work out the seams, or this will just be a flat vessel. She'll have some loose fiber, but we're going to take care of that right now. Make sure these things stay heal, heal, heal. It's nice and thin. This is going to be a night light, a vessel that you close, and you put a little fake light in there. Well, real light, but no heat, you know. Little battery operated candle things. I've got to watch that fingernail. Oh, then. This is the fingernail that keeps splitting. And I keep trying different kinds of things to make it stay together, and none of them work except for gel, which means investing $35 or more. It's usually $50 by the time you get out of there. The problem with it is that every time it splits, it grabs little hairs, including my own, and then yanks this off the nail bed, which hurts. It also ruins things because it's picking up fibers I don't want it to touch. Anyway, enough about my nail. Okay, so when you cut felted material, you have to do what they call heal the edges, which is work the edges until they felt more densely, so it doesn't look like a cut surface. Now, I'm going to turn this inside out in a minute, and we're going to work on it from the inside, which should be all purple on the inside. Oh, periwinkle. That's right, my mom loved this color too. She did, after the divorce and Dad moved out, she repainted the master bedroom in a creative way, nonetheless. She did it periwinkle walls, and on one wall she did a darker version of it. It looked really cool. It's like, huh, good, Mom. Did something creative. And she also tried being more creative in general. She really needed more permission, but she, I remember her putting up mirror tiles in a nice pattern in the living room behind the couch. It was kind of vogue back then, mirror tiles. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Okay, we have this extra right here, which is only okay if I can make this stand up better. So we're going to end up stuffing this like we did the first one, but I like the way this is coming out much better than the first one. What were you using? It sounds like you had more issues than... Why were they yellowing? You have bacteria? What the hell were you using that your skin is burning when you wash? Okay, look at that. Some of the black came through. That's all right. So we got, now this is Corriedale wool, which is, it's rougher. It's not for wearing against your skin. Although it's soft to the touch, it's going to bother your skin if you had this rubbing against it. Yeah, I hate dial, but if you can find something without fragrance, you're doing the right thing. A lot of people are allergic to the fragrances that they use in that stuff. Soaps, I buy unscented 99% of the time. And antibacterial, with the way you're sweating at work, I agree with your mother. Because that's usually like athlete's foot, athlete's crotch. It's the same fungus, candida. Women get it under their boobs and in crevices of fat. Ew. This is the season apparently for some breakouts. My eczema started up on my foot today. It's like, what the hell triggered this? I didn't get cold, I didn't get dry. It's just a thing. Right now it's just one spot, thank goodness. That's great. You needed help with that. What were you using that made your skin burn? I want to know. People need to know about that. She's down in Florida? Oh my God. Well, at least you don't have to go down there. Fucking Florida. Land of hate. She will be with her mother and aunt closer. Good for her. I didn't think her mother was still alive. But yes, when you get older, it's nice to be around family. Well, depending on the family. Now, unfortunately, the family I would most like to be closer to is out on the West Coast. And we don't really stay in contact because I know I'll just let them down. We can't keep up. I can't keep up with long distance relationships anymore. I want to be able to see people in person, and that has become more important. Okay, we got lots of light coming through, which is what I wanted since we're creating a night light. All right. All right, I'm going to have to stuff it. really like how this came out. But I made sure it was delicate, so it's not going to be like a really heavy duty fabric that can take a lot of stuffing. But we do need to get it more in the round. And, you know, I love my family on the West Coast. My cousin Jill is like my favorite cousin in the world. But on my mother's side, we also have brilliant, wonderful cousins. And through Facebook, I was able to see that some of their kids are married and having babies and all that family stuff that I have zero interest in. But if I lived out there, I would have definitely wanted to be part of their lives because they're really nice people. I've got really good family. Most of them. Okay, easy now. We don't want to poke this right through. We want it to look fragile, but not actually be fragile. Oh, we're getting good texture here, but let's make sure that stays. Okay, so that's the bottom of our little baskety thing. And we'll know tomorrow how well this did. The aunt who took care of mother stopped having anything to do with us. Do you know why? I mean, your mother changed for the better, didn't she? Because if your mother didn't change, I could see why nobody would want to be close to her. Hey, you know what happens, Gary? Like what happened with me and my sisters. I'm done with bullshit. You know, I don't have time. I don't know. I could die tomorrow. Don't I want to spend today having a good time, feeling good, thinking about happy things? Or do I want to go and take on somebody else's drama just because they're related to me? Like, no, that's not a good enough excuse anymore. Yeah, that's what I thought. You said so. I believe you. Okay, I'm going to bring out my new dress. Exactly, you have to make time for your happiness. And if someone is going to just be a bunch of drama, now, my sisters were anti-vax. One of them still is. One of them is no longer anti-vax because when she was taking care of my mother during COVID, Mom was very vulnerable and she needed to be protected in every way they could come up with because she was, well, she died at 89, you know, and she was in dementia. And her last 3 years, she was very much out of it. Before she died, she didn't know who I was or any of her daughters. So my sister recognized that there's a time and a place. Now it's time. So she actually got the COVID injections and she was fine. But recently, very recently, now mind you, she used to attend rallies, anti-vax rallies with her children. Same thing with the other ones. I remember all three of them. They were rabid anti-vaxxers, all right? Until, like I said, my mother's illness during COVID changed their approach. one of them has remained, and she's the one that voted for RFK Jr. Okay. But the one that was taking care of mom and took the vaccine was talking to her son. She's got COVID right now, I guess. And her son said, she told her son, maybe I should go and get the vaccination. And her son said, well, Mom, you always told us not to get vaccinated. And my sister went off the deep end like that, triggered to the max in one sentence, where she accused her son of being MAGA, which he's not. But he was raised with no vaccinations, and my sisters were really hardcore about no vax. They only did the ones they had to so they could attend school. And past that, no. But my sister, and also, you know, the thing about vaccinations, you can't take them while you're sick because they don't help. It just further bothers your immune system. If you have the disease, you're developing your own antibodies. A vaccination is to prevent you from getting the worst case scenario. It doesn't prevent you catching a disease necessarily. It did with polio, measles. So we have very important vaccinations which do protect you from getting it, but others are just to protect, like COVID, to protect you from getting it as bad as it could be, to reduce the numbers of people going into the ER and basically dying intubated. Oh, it is very real. A year ago, I was so sick, I thought I was dying. It shut my freaking liver down. I was not able to digest fat at all. I mean, I couldn't even eat. 6 weeks. So I know, but you don't, I already had the vaccination, so I'm lucky I did, because that version floored me. 2 visits to ER in ambulance. I don't want to go through that again. But this time, I had a virus active of a different kind, not a contagious one. And I decided not to get the booster last week. I don't regret it. Also, if I change my mind, I can get it, you know. But they come here to the building because so many of us don't have cars or are handicapped in one way or another. So they come here twice a year to give us our flu shots, pneumonia shots, shingles shots, whatever it is we need. Yep, it's deadly. It's a deadly disease that unfortunately politics interfered with how we treat it, and people overreacted as usual to the wrong things because people are idiots and easily manipulated by the media. But anyway, yeah, my sister's like off the deep end, and it doesn't matter what the subject is, she's going to look for a way to argue with you. So here she went loony bins on her own son because he was he recommended the right thing. Don't get a vaccination right now because she already had the disease. She was already sick with it. You get the vaccination before you get sick to help you build up immunity before you get caught with, you know, you catch that bacteria or virus. You had it 5 times. Wow. Yeah, well, you work with the public, and you probably don't wear a mask at work, so yeah, you're going to get it. And keep your ears open for when, because it's constantly mutating. Doesn't necessarily mean it's mutating into a less problematic, because I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it for the first 3 years, and I got it last year. Well, not last year. It was a year ago this January. I got it in January, and I was sick until my birthday. In fact, my birthday, I came out of bed for the first time in 6 weeks to put my easel together because it had been sitting waiting for me since November to put it together, but I was too sick. That's wonderful. Good. May that continue until you just don't catch it. Now, I believe in modern medicine, and I hate that we've got morons trying to dictate medicine to us now because they're idiots. Like I said, the FEMA guy talks to Satan and believes he is teleported to different places. Oh, did you? Oh, so you got COVID-19. I did not. That's good because that's your only protection. I mean, only physical protection, and the physical protection is always going to outdo other stuff. Okay, we have to let this dry now. I have it stuffed as much as I dare. This is going to look so cool lit up from inside. I think my friend is going to love it. It's all her colors. Yeah, I like it better than this one. This one, I tried adding the synthetic threads because they were cool and they've got all this sparkly stuff on them. But yeah, the failure to get these more visible disappointed me. So, do-over. And I like the do-over way better. Although, like I said, this is really pretty lit up. Because, you know, you've got the dark and the light. You've got the places where there's barely any wool at all. So it just looks like light coming through a cobweb. It's really nice. Now, I see why there's some artists making large sculptural night lights that hang on the wall. Like, that's cool. Okay, now I need to take all of the purples and blues and all that off my desk. Because the next color, I think, is going to end up being the peachy apricot pinkies and greens. Or maybe brown. Look at that, gorgeous. This is merino lavender, 19 micron. This chunky monkey, and this chunky monkey, and this chunky monkey. They are Corriedale, which is the tougher, outdoorsy, good for sweaters in winter wool. And we have these gorgeous, look at that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that makes me happy. And we've got the black. We're just going to push this aside because it doesn't go in this suitcase. I have more suitcases on the way because my collection is outgrowing what I have. And see, this is the like fairy stuff. It's just so light and sparkly, and it looks so pretty mixed in with this wool. But it has to have the wool to hold it down. That's the problem with it. Okay, a little more of this beautiful Corriedale. We're going to save those for a friend. She's doing the needle type of felting. Oh yeah, look at that. This is another amazing. The greens, the golds, the blue, it's silk. So it does not felt naturally. It has to be held down by more wool, but it's so pretty. I think my stomach just grumbled. Oh my God. Isn't it? Aren't they just gorgeous? I've got, I think, I'm getting bamboo in that matches some colors I already have, so they can, the fibers can be interspersed for their gorgeous shiny beauty. Oh, and I'll show you how the pouch came out for my friend for her birthday. Okay, so this got to soak. This soaked in the vinegar water to bring back the sheen of the wool. This is the viscose. See how it doesn't? It doesn't felt naturally, no, because silk and viscose, um, it'll go through silk. If it's fine enough, but you have to have something over like here. I made this M out of apricot viscose. See how shiny this is compared to the rest of it? But the only way this is staying on was by me taking little just poofs of the wool and laying it over it. So you can see the shininess, but holding it down is wool. And that's the only way you can felt these other fibers, even though they're all natural. So this is reversible. This has more of the wild effect. I think of it kind of like lightning. Isn't that cool? Like marbling, you know? And it's so pretty. And if you want to use that side, you just turn it inside out and you roll it that way. Now, I'm not sure where I'm going to put a button yet. I haven't made all my decisions with this because what I was thinking of doing, actually put that back in the center. What I was thinking of doing is making this pleated, which requires some ironing into place. Kind of like that. You need an iron to get that nice and sharp. But you get the idea, right? And then this will come over, but it'll be more, you know, accordioned that way. And this, I wanted to put something really cool there, but I did not manage. I might be able to get really funky and use regular thread and make some dangly beads. So when you do this, the beads hang down a little bit, just on that edge, just to be, you know, a little wild and different. But when you look at this open, it makes an M, which stands for Mindy, because I made this for Mindy. I showed you the flower purse that I finished, right? With the vine and all. It's so soft, it feels so nice. I am so proud of that purse that I want to make another flower purse. Let me get the dress that I want to prepare for. Oh, there it is. Okay, so these are the new dresses that I'm going to make something to match. This is the flower one, and it is lightweight enough to be a spring and a summer and a fall, everything but winter. So I want to pull colors from this wrinkled thing and make a bag that's very feminine to go with that. And then we've got this one, which is, again, silky. It's good for 3 seasons. It's all polyester, you know, inexpensive. I just have to iron them. So this, obviously, I'm going to want something that goes with the green. Thing is, the more detail in the fabric, the less detail you want in the purse, because you want it to accent what you're wearing, not make it bigger than what you're wearing. Like my pink purse. This goes over a pink dress, but the pink dress is solid pink. So you can add something like this that, you know, has a lot of detail and multiple colors. But it would not look so good if the dress itself also had all of these colors. Then it would just disappear against the dress. If you're going to go through the effort of making an original piece of art to wear, it should be noticeable. It should not disappear against the pattern of your dress. So I want to make a flower to go with this dress, but it has to be, it can't be too exciting. It has to be different, but, you know, work with this. So I'm going to go get these out of the way. Well, actually I need this out here so I can pick out the color. Here we go, and we don't need that there. So I was thinking, because it's an autumny thing too, and it's got some brown, or brownish black. Actually, it's a blue black. This is not brown. It's a blue black. Which I think is pretty cool. So it will have to have some black in it. But let's take a look at the colors. And my viscous should be in here. Yes. Okay, so we've got, this is Corriedale. And that, being as strong as it is, will be the base layer because it's tough. This is Merino. This is like silk. When you make fabric out of it, this is good against your skin. This is what I used. This is the gorgeous, look how shiny that is, alright? You can see the difference immediately. This is bamboo, or viscose. This is merino. So this apricot will make really nice highlights. But I can see I do not have enough. I don't have enough of this on its own. That is a challenge in making sure you've got enough. This is 1 ounce. You get a lot for 1 ounce, but if you're going to make a pocketbook, you want a 2 ounce safety. Like, I think I ordered something close to this, which we can't use in that, but it's a gorgeous color. And this was actually stuffing, partially felted just because it was excess. So it's kind of a nice blend, but nope, not for that either. And my beautiful merino, but we're not going to use that, even though there's some yellow in here. I don't like that. I do have this pale. Well, I could throw a few highlights. Alright. When I first looked at this dress, I was thinking, well, actually, when I ordered it, oops, sorry about that, I was thinking of a flower-shaped purse. Now, that's a little bit trickier when it comes to making a mold for it. It's not like a straight box. Now, I am confused. confused as to why I haven't gotten a notice that I've gotten my delivery. Have I not gotten my delivery? Okay, well, one good thing, this that I have a lot of, our familiar natural, and I'm going to guess this is more like a Corriedale. I think it's, yeah, I'm pretty sure now that I'm starting to be able to tell the difference. This is rougher than a merino, so yeah, it's either a coarse merino, like a large micron merino, or not a merino at all, or a Corriedale. Okay, and we do have some white. I'll make sure I have plenty of white. This is mohair yarn for my sister, because she knits and I do not. So one of the things that crossed my mind was make the bottom of the purse more the natural colors, like the browns, and then work up the lighter colors on the top. So look at that. That is like an identical match. So I'm going to take that out. That's gorgeous. We have more than enough to do a purse. I just want to make sure I've got more than enough of all the colors I really want to use. And what's this? Yeah, we have to have those for accents. I think we can put this one away. We don't need the very pale yellow with that. But what about our earth tones? I bought these. I love how they came in vacuum packed packages. Look at that. Now that's called honey. And yeah, that's nice. All right. We're going to put this aside for now because I need to create the template for the next bag. Oh, the black does go in there. Silly me. I forget to look on both sides. This has the llama fur in it as well. And I can't wait to try that. The llama fur is used the same way as the viscose. It does not like to felt by itself, although it will. Oh, no, you stay. And you get back in there for now. Thank you. Oh yeah, it's a good thing I'm getting another set of bags so I can separate the colors a little more. Okay. Now that I've got the most important things, I know what black is going to look like. I don't need to have that out. And we'll worry about the green dress next week. This obviously is going to be a fun summer. Thanks, me too. I'm so happy to be making, well, not just creating, but creating stuff that I can wear. So much more fun. Now, one of the projects I'll be doing also is I've got another dress that's just a plain full-length, a kind of a dark raspberry velour, lightweight velour. So it's shiny, you know, when you move. Not disco shiny, but, you know, I could dress it up and make it more formal, or I can dress it down and make it go shopping in it. But because it's solid color, I will have more leeway in what color to make the bag to match it. Now, I don't have the right raspberry right now, so I'm not going to be making that bag right now. But that's more of an autumn outfit anyway. I have lots of time. So, Gary sent 2 photos. Food. What is that? Is that a burger? Did you make that yourself? And another toy. Did that toy help you cook? That's making me more hungry. So, now, why is it saying the rain's going to end? It hasn't even started yet. Okay, let's take a look at weather-wise again. Okay, it's heading our way. Right now I'm just on the very edge of the cloud coming in. But if the ones above me drop at all, we could get some good rain. We need it. We've got a stream out back that really needs some help. Okay, it's time to go eat. I've been on for 3 hours. We have accomplished quite a bit today. Not you. So all of these colors plus whatever I choose to be my dark accent. I do have some blue grays, dark blue grays, so I will probably want to add, I don't know, maybe make it look like one of my trees coming up the side of a sunrise, a sunrisey kind of a look. And it'll definitely go with that dress. These colors are like perfectly matched. Oh, I know, we're gonna get tussled black silk, ebony silk. I'll use that for the accents. Because I'm gonna, it's just this, the fabric is poly, but it's very silky. And I want, the bag is gonna have to be able to slide against it. You don't want to wear a pocketbook that gets caught on the fabric, because it's fabric itself. So this is gonna be interesting. And I'm going to put this all together for convenience sake, so I can have some room to work on the shape of my next purse. And then we'll decide what else is going to get added to it. All right, I have a piece of chicken defrosting, and your French fries made me remember I still have some French fries I can go ahead and eat. And that sounds like a nice shortcut today. I am planning on coming back actually this evening after I eat. By then I should have my package. Today is the 20th. I'm expecting 2 packages, although I don't see the I don't do mail on my phone. I'll have to go check. But anyway, yep, where'd you go? Oh, I dropped my own video. Okay, there I am. My weather is waiting for rain. It's chilly and we're expecting a freeze tonight. a freeze of all the damn things, a freeze. How about you? Right now it is 49 degrees. Rain coming or going, I'm not sure. Cloudy with rain. Highs in the low 50s, lows in the upper 20s. So let's see, it's going to start dropping sincerely when the sun starts going down. 44, 42, 39, 37, 31. When the sun comes up, it's going to be around 30 degrees. Freezing. I'm good with that. I haven't planted anything yet, so I'm good with that. Yes, it's been a very abnormal spring. Extremely abnormal. I agree. Okay, cookies. I'll be back later. I have to eat and I'll be back because I want to get moving on this new design. You know, that's not a bad design for a purse, actually. About the right size. No, I need to go bigger. It does shrink as it felts, so I'm gonna have to come up with a different design. And do I want one that goes across the body? Oops, sorry. Or do I want an actual clutch? I'm gonna have to think about this. But whatever it is, I want it to be, of course, gorgeous. So it's time to eat. Your magnolia has dried up? Oh, that's very bad. They're blooming like nuts around here. It's almost 3, 4:35. Well, as long as it doesn't ruin your full night's sleep, go for it. Although laying down right after you eat is a very not good idea for your body. Your body needs activity after you eat, or it all ends up in your ass or hips or wherever you're vulnerable. Men get the spare tire and they start looking pregnant. Ew. Don't do that, Gary. Don't become one of those pregnant men. Dropping its leaves. That's horrible. That's horrible. That means your water table is way low. Are you on well water or city water? Oh, good. This is good for needle felting. I'll see if my friend wants it. I don't know what she would use the purple for. We'll throw it away, but I'll give her that. Bunches of scraps. They're so pretty. Good. It's 4:20. Our new mayor is doing good things. Good. As long as they're keeping the data center out. Because that'll suck up all your water and raise your electric. Okie dokie. I need to eat. I'll see you when I'm done eating. And have enjoyed celebrating the day. This is the fine merino, and it's just so silky. After the one, even getting new fiber optic cables in the ground. Excellent. Yeah, you want everything you can to be below ground because of storms. You just have to remember you can't just dig randomly in your yard after they do that. All right, darlings, until later.